Oh, man. The whole point is to share it on here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Embarrass the shit out of yourself.
Keep the conversation, as random as possible.
And you're doing a fine job on your own.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to JG's Lounge. I'm your host, Jukebox, and we're back with another episode of Stardom. And today we got a new guest, man. Tyler Wright, man. How you doing?
What's up, man? Doing very well. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, dude. I've been following you on Facebook for a little bit. I think I found you through Sean Shank or the Underground Laugh Lounge. I don't know if you've been there before.
Oh, yeah. Sean Shank, great fucking guy, great comic. Underground Laugh Lounge, one of the best clubs in all of Michigan there, Southern Michigan. I fucking love that club.
And you and your girlfriend as well does it too, right? She does comedy just like you do.
I would say she does it and I follow her. Is a probably better way to describe it. I mean, she got me into comedy, really. I've always wanted to do comedy, but never had, I don't know, the balls or the wherewithal, know where to start or whatever. And then, we met. She's been doing comedy for 3.5, 4 years once we met. And then took me a while to get into it, but then she brought me in.
Yeah. See, and I've had so many comedians on here, and it's like, I don't know that I can do stand up, man. I mean, I can sit here and talk shit on the screen all day, but I don't know if I can get in front of a crowd and do it.
No, I mean, it's especially coming from wrestling, because I come from pro wrestling. It's there's similarities and differences. It's like, there's always a lot of people staring at you, a lot of people watching you. But in wrestling, it's like people are there for a different kind of entertainment. They're there to be rowdy, to scream, to yell. You know what I mean? With comedy, people just want to sit and, react, and they just want to be entertained without having to hoot and holler a lot of the time. Yeah. So comedy, I think, is way harder.
No shit. It's funny. I'd say like 1 out of 5 comedians that I've had on here are some sort of wrestler.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, the crossover is pretty crazy. The similarities between like the journeys of when you start, you know what I mean? Yeah. I've been in the wrestling business for about 4.5 years now, something like that. Comedy, 1.5 years. So it's like when you're first starting off, it's the exact same. You're performing in bars, in tiny little clubs, in hotels and VFWs and stuff like that. And you're just grinding. You're just trying to get your name out there, just trying to get any stage time that you can, just trying to suck up and kiss some ass. You know what I mean? You kind of got to do what you got to do to get some time. Because that's the only thing with comedy and wrestling. It's like you can only get better by actually doing it. Right.
And have you had some pretty big flops as far as doing stand up?
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing too. It's like everybody bombs, like Dave Chappelle has, Louis C.K. They all have stories about bombing. You know what I mean? That's just part of the gig when you're starting comedy, because you have to find your voice. You have to find what jokes work, what jokes don't. I mean, even guys that have been doing it 10, 20 years, once they do a special or whatever, and okay, I can't do that hour again, and they start over, they bomb because it's all new material. I got to figure out how to say it. I got to figure out how to word it. And it's all just a learning experience. I mean, my worst bomb, I would say, funny enough, Sean Shank booked me for it. It was at a brewery, Watermark Brewery. Great room. It was a beautiful room. I fucked up. You know what I mean? It's like 120 people. And early in my set, can I curse on this?
Yeah, dude, of course. Early
in my set, I said cunt. And almost immediately, all of the old people just like turned off. You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty silent for the rest of my 10-minute set. So that was definitely one of the worst.
That's hard. That's hard though, man. Because like you, I feel like reading a crowd could be easy, but like if you throw in that 1 or 2 or even like that small group that just are not happy, and it can ruin the whole thing.
No, 100%. I mean, that's especially with like comedy. It's like you can really change a room just by saying a word or a sentence. With wrestling, it's like you can kind of say whatever you want, and if something offends somebody, in a couple minutes they'll forget about it because there's so much going on.
Right.
But in comedy, it's just you standing up there. Everybody's staring at you. You are the focus. So it's like if you say something, they're not going to forget it generally. You know what I mean? If you move on and really have something good to say, then maybe they'll forget about it. But if you say something bad, it's not good.
I do have to give you a compliment though, because you were telling everybody to check out for Kill Tony. Now you didn't do great on there, but the way you reacted to Kill Tony and the other guys was perfect. Like you just kind of accepted the fact that they didn't really care for the comedy.
Yes,
you didn't get all pissy or anything like that.
No, yeah, you can't do that regardless. Even if you have a bad night in comedy, you can't just be like, "Ah, fuck, I should quit." And you know, I mean, you just can't do that because everybody has bad nights, everybody has bad sets, and you just have to realize that I am funny. Kind of say, you kind of have to hype yourself up, like you can't base your whole life on one performance. You know what I mean? And I didn't do super well on Kill Tony, but it was a great experience. I'm so happy that I was able to do that, especially with my girlfriend. We got picked back to back. First time a couple has ever been picked back to back in the history of Kill Tony. Right. So it's like, I have nothing to be upset about. She did great, and that's really all I could ask for.
Well, I like I said, I don't necessarily think that you did terrible because the way that you reacted was perfect. Like you weren't being you see some of them that get on there and they get like all butthurt with Kill Tony, and the other comedians are like, no, whatever. It's not me. It's you guys. We're talking shit about the crowd or whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to take it on the chin, and you got to realize where you fucked up. And I got to come back with better jokes. You know what I mean? I got no one to blame but myself for it. And like I said, I'm not. It hasn't ruined my life. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get back on the horse and keep going.
Like, yeah, dude, that's how you gotta go. So, how long you been in Texas now? It's been about a month now, almost.
Yeah, about 2 months now.
2 months. Shit, it's going fast.
No, dude, you're no fucking kidding. It's so funny. We've been here 2 months and we still haven't had any barbecue.
That's surprising.
Yeah, that's
very surprising.
I say that to people in Texas and they act like I just killed a dog. They're like, what? You haven't had barbecue?
And I'm in Kansas, and we're the same way, man. We're like, if you haven't tried barbecue yet, then we're gonna give you a hard time.
That KC barbecue?
KC barbecue, man. All right, so for today's episode, I picked some random memes that I think are pretty relatable. So I'm going to read them and we're going to react to them. How's this?
Cool.
All right, this first one says, passwords leaving my memory as soon as I create them.
God damn it. If that ain't the truth. I mean, I probably shouldn't even say this, but it's like I do have a generally similar password for all of my passwords, but sometimes they vary by a word or like a letter or a symbol. And sometimes I can just absolutely never remember, and I always have to do forget password. My email is filled with forgot your password emails.
And how many platforms, social media platforms, would you say you have?
Well, me, I'm pretty simple. I only have X, Facebook, and Instagram. That's it. I mean, I don't fuck with Snapchat or. I mean, is there any others after that? I mean, Threads, is that still a thing?
Threads is kind of a thing, but I don't think anybody uses it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I think those are the main three now. I don't think anybody uses any others.
Yeah, streaming services use those, like Netflix, Hulu, all that stuff. And I've used the same password for everything. And then when you start mixing them up, it's like, which one has the exclamation point?
Yeah. Well, I use my brother's. I use my brother's like everything. He uses my HBO, but then I use his Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus.
Well, that's usually
Amazon Prime. So
yeah,
I always,
and like nowadays, like Hulu and Disney and stuff is like bundled up.
Yeah, I mean, which is like I said, they're gonna be cable. It's just gonna we're going. It's a cyclical thing. We're just going back to cable.
Yes,
because I heard that too. That all of them are teaming together. It's gonna be like six of them. So they're just gonna take over TV, and that's what everybody's gonna do. And then there's gonna be no more TV. It's the same thing with like landlines and cell phones. There's no more landlines, but now they're starting to come back. With like payphones and shit like that. So,
which is weird, man. Even like clothing trends are starting to go back to like 80s and 90s.
Well, yeah, the clothing has always been cyclical like that, but yes, the 90s clothes, we should bring that back anyway. Baggy,
oh, yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? It's guys wearing these tight jeans. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. Bring back parachute pants. That's what I want.
Dude, I had a pair of parachute pants.
Yeah.
I had this little, I had a little punk goth phase for a little while when I was younger. And
the early 2000s was rough on all of us.
Yeah, no shit. 2007 to like 2012, I think I had this whole goth punks paint my face, gauged ears, piercings in my face, torn jeans.
I have a story about gauging my ears. I have my ears pierced just with like just some hoops. I got them pierced, 10 years ago, whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna gauge up my ears. I'm gonna go to like a 00. No big deal, And the very first gauge, I went to put it in, and I was like, I'm all right. That hurts a little.
I'll stick with these.
Yeah, I'll just stick with I've had these hoops ever since.
I had like 00s and 7/16 in both of my ears. I had like I had my septum pierced, snake bites. I had like my hair jet black with like blonde chunks in it. I was like your stereotypical emo punk kid.
I was saying, you went full emo. Yeah, you never go full emo.
No, it was pretty bad, man. Then had a kid, grew up.
Yeah,
things changed. Now I go for more of a
put it in a box under the bed.
Right. Now it's more of a lumberjack look.
Yeah, that's adult.
All right, next up, man. 1997. Don't sit too close to the TV; you'll damage your eyes. And now we got these, VRs.
Have you seen these? Have you put on one of these new ones?
We have two of them.
Oh shit! How are they?
They're fantastic, and I get why people get addicted to it, man. It's cool because like you go into like these communities and you're literally walking around and like there's comedy clubs, anything that you could expect to actually go out and do. Usually there's somewhere in here that you can go to and just hang out with people. And It's the weirdest thing. Yeah, my wife and I will get on there. There's courtrooms. You can go like create your own like story. Like it's crazy, man. Yeah.
Well, because it's like interactive where you can like touch stuff.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's crazy. See, I'm too poor. I'm too poor. That stuff can't even come near my house.
Well, ours is called Debt.
Yeah. Well, I hear the porn is crazy.
So, the minute I get the opportunity to check that out when I don't have kids running around my house, I'll let you know for sure. Usually I have to go sneak into the bathroom with my cell phone. It's the only way I can do it.
I see the same thing happening with these things that happened with Pokemon Go. It's going to be, a crazy trend. People are going to be walking into traffic. People are going to be walking off cliffs. People are going to die because of this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes. It's funny because they have this thing and it's called what is it called? You have to create your room basically. So if you step outside that boundary, it cuts off the show.
Whoa.
So like that's kind of neat. But if it was to glitch and somebody just walked right out into the street, that'd be a problem.
No, I'm sure. I'd be shocked if it hasn't already happened. If I'm being honest,
that's true. Yeah, no, it is crazy experience. If you haven't experienced, have you been at an arcade or anything and put any of them on before?
Yeah, there's like what is it? The Ramblin' Rabbits or whatever. There's like some sort of shooting game with them. Yeah. Well, and I remember like early days where it was like a husk. And you clip your phone into it, and your phone was like the VR. You remember those?
Yes.
That was like early days VR. That was like the only one I think I've ever actually put on.
Those were a pain in the ass too.
And they were a pain in the ass, and they sucked.
Yes.
Like, that's my idea of VR still, but like I'm sure it's a billion times better now.
I think I watched porn that way once with
that was my very first thought. I was like, I remember the porn being so bad on that.
That's good. All right, next up. Nah, man, night shift isn't too bad. You just have to get used to it. Says Michael, age 24.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That was me, brother. I worked through college. I worked at Chipotle, Mexican grill, and near the end, I rose up to GM. So I was top dog there. Yeah, probably at 24 or something like that.
Yeah,
I was GM for like a year and I don't know, maybe a half, and that was one of the most stressful times of my life. Like I was constantly working, 60, 70 hours a week while going to college. And it was just, I looked just as haggard as that photo. So.
Yes. And I've done it right out of high school. I was working overnights at Target. And then I was also like a cook at Joe's Crab Shack in the mornings. I don't know if you're familiar with
Well,
Joe's
that's
Crab
the time to
Shack.
do it when you're. That's the time to do it when you're 24. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just turned 30, and I went to bed at like 12:30 the other night and got up at 7. And dude, like my whole day was fucked up. I was fucked up the whole day. So it's like I just can't do that shit anymore. It's like So 24, that was the time to do that fucked up stuff.
Right. I'm 34 now, dude. I cannot. I mean, I already work, 12 or 13 hour shifts where I'm at now, and that's even pushing it, man.
Yeah.
I come home, I'm like exhausted. My wife and kids are like, hey, let's play. Nah, I'm gonna go sleep.
I was like, I don't even have kids, and I feel that
pain. So what do you do now? What do you do for work?
I work at Jared Jewelry.
Oh, I knew that. I knew you talked about it. You do.
Yeah, I talked on Kill Tony. Yeah. That's right. I'm the jeweler. Yeah.
The jeweler. Now, how did you get into that job?
Yeah, I was working at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I worked there for like, I don't know, 6-8 months. That job fucking sucked. I hated it so much. Just because like I hate working with people, especially in like a customer service aspect, because people are just so entitled and people just get really mean when they don't get what they want. And I was just getting sick of being yelled at every day. So I was just like, all right, I need to find something new, and I need to find something where I don't have to deal with customers. I can just be in the back or whatever and do my own thing. So Indeed, I just found it on Indeed. It was just apprentices for a bench jeweler, and I was like, that sounds fun. Just something I've never heard of before, never done or thought of to do before. So I literally just started as an entry-level position. I've been there for like 3 years now. I'm a B-level jeweler, certified diamondologist, certified gemologist. So it's been a great career, great job. So I'm happy to be
I was gonna say that sounds like something that nobody like wants to do as a kid. It just kind of you fall into it and you just
100%. Well, that's like all of the great things, right? You don't look for it; it just kind of comes to you. You fall into it, and you get a groove for it. You find a passion for it almost. Because like I never cared about jewelry ever. You never cared about diamonds or anything, but now I love jewelry. I look at people's fingers all the time and like, oh, that little diamond.
Yes. Yeah, I bet I would be the same way. That's like I've had actors and shit on here too, and one of the biggest things they say is they always critique movies now. Like once they've done it, and it's like, yeah, when you're into that kind of career, and then like for me with the podcasting, I've been doing it for like 4 years. Like if I'm watching or listening to other podcasts, even if they're better than me, I'm like critiquing like, oh, what could they have done better, or oh, maybe I should use that.
Well, yeah, it almost ruins stuff for you, right?
It really,
Now you can't watch it without analyzing it. That's kind of the same thing with pro wrestling. It's like I love pro wrestling, but I can't watch it as a spectator. I watch it as a worker, where it's like, oh, I see they fucked up there, where people don't see, or it's like, oh, they're talking there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just really notice the really tiny things that people who aren't in the business, are in the industry, just don't pick up on, which is like, that's fine, but
yeah,
you can't watch it without that critical eye now,
Right. All right, you ready for the next one?
Fuck yeah.
It says, good morning, sunshine. And the guy holding the barrels is supposed to be the internet.
Oh, I see.
So,
yeah, holy shit.
Girl already milked you dry over there.
I'm shocked that went as far as it did, right?
Dude, I cannot get over the fact that blew up the way it did.
I mean, you gotta respect the girl for making her money. I mean, she capitalized on, but like now they're talking about giving her like a TV show. I'm like,
yeah, which I think is going to tank very quickly. I think that
what's it going to be about? I mean, is her life interesting at all? Besides,
no, she lived in like some small town community. She lived in a small town community of like 700 people, and like she in the interviews was like, oh, I didn't expect it to blow up. But like she's trying to ride it when it was only one thing. Like she's already been getting booed at like concerts and shit. Like it's I don't see it lasting very long for her, man.
Yeah, the rise and the fall. It happened so quickly. So she's gonna have to start sucking some cocks. I mean,
yes. Yeah, dude. My wife and I were talking about this. She even moved to Hollywood and everything. And it's like she's gonna end up being a porn star because everything else will tank.
Well, even like Shaq, I don't know if you saw that. Shaq like posted a picture with her or whatever.
Sitting right next to her.
he was doing like one of those, you know what I mean? So it's like, she sucked my cock was the general vibe of the tweet. So it's like, that's not a great, like, this is the girl that sucks dicks, you know what I mean? That's I don't know if that's what I would want in life, you know, but hey, she's making her money, like I said.
Yeah,
Who can blame her for that?
Do you and ride it, but I think that you should be looking for the next thing, not like trying to ride that one thing. Like, I feel like she's trying to capitalize on that one thing.
Yeah, literally, you should rebrand yourself. Well,
yes,
that's our advice to the Hawk 2 girl.
Well, and so I've had one video that went like stupid viral, and it was recent on Instagram, and it's like a 6-second clip of this elephant sitting on like a stool, and he's got this big ass dong just dangling, and he's wearing this collar, and I'm just like, oh, nice collar. Or I said something like, I've never seen an elephant with a collar, and it got 2.8 million views in a couple minutes, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's the most obnoxious thing ever.
Yeah, I was about to say that figures it's never the thing that you want, right?
Right.
I'm sure she thought that too. Well, because like she did like a whole interview, like, and that one section got plucked out and blew up. So it's like her friend. I bet she hates that girl. I bet she is so mad at her friend for coming in and stealing her thunder. You know what I mean? Because she's not a millionaire now.
Nope. She seems to be doing a lot of this stuff with her though. Like she's trying to jump on that wagon with her.
Yeah, so a very jaded friend.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. Have you ever had? What would you say your best experience, either in wrestling or stand up, has been?
Well, there's a couple that I could think of off the top of my head. In pro wrestling, winning my first title was a big night for me. It was I won a tag team title with my tag partner Giuseppe Gambini and my girlfriend Jackie Jester. She managed us. We were a trio called Just Business was our group name, and we got the rocket strapped to us. We won the tag titles. We went, 15-minute match or whatever, and it was just an incredible night. I'll never forget it, just because it's really something when a company puts the trust and the faith in you to put titles on you, because it's really them saying that we want you here, we want to showcase you guys, we can put you on posters and sell tickets. It's really a huge an honor to have titles put on you. A lot of people don't see it that way, but I do, just because it is like, those are your stars of the show. Regardless of if you're a little indie or whatever, it's still like these are your attractions, and to be considered an attraction like that at that level is an honor. So that's definitely one. Even my first match in wrestling was like such a huge milestone for me, because I never thought I was going to be able to do it, because it's a very, very stressful thing, very physical thing. It's like I threw up 3 times the day before and twice the day of, my very first wrestling match. And I did it. I went 8 minutes with Jorge Bravo. Shout out to Jorge Bravo. Love that guy. He really helped me through it. He really coached me through it. He's a true professional. And like I said, I was so nervous the day of that we came up with the plan if I had to throw up in the middle of my match.
Like how you were going to plan it out?
Yeah, no, it was like, if you get a little queasy, we'll just we'll brawl to the outside. We'll go to the trash can here. You can throw up. We'll make a big deal out of it, and then whenever you're done, we can come back and we'll continue the match. So that never happened, thankfully.
Which is good.
What's that?
So that's good.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That never ended up happening, which thank God. But I just remember once the match was done, I went to the back. One of my best friends in wrestling, Jamar Jupiter, another shout out. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of shout outs.
You're good, man.
I collapsed in his arms and just started crying. I was like, I did it, bro. I did it. So yeah, those are some big moments in wrestling for me. In comedy, my first feature was big. My first doing 20 minutes, because it was kind of the same thing. I was so nervous. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. It's very hard to keep an audience captivated for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Right. Just by yourself doing stand-up. Wrestling, it's a little easier because there's somebody else. The crowd is drunk, you know what I mean? And rowdy. Right. With comedy, it's just you and a microphone, so you better be entertaining. Yeah. And it was at Decibels Comedy Club in Portage, Indiana. I featured for Jeff Webb, and it went great. It couldn't have gone any better. I got like 2 applause breaks, throughout it. People were laughing. I didn't bomb. I wouldn't say it was the greatest stand-up performance ever, but it was good enough. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those are big moments, just like to realize that I can do it. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. That's kind of how it's been for me with this. Like I've had Wee Man from Jackass on a couple times.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
He's a good guy. Larry Hankin he was one of the neighbors on Friends. He was the angry old guy that lived next door.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's been on my show a couple times. So I've had some bigger ones. I've had some smaller ones. And the one thing that I've always been consistent on, if I can make you guys laugh, then I'm doing my show right. So,
well, this is it's a very professional production. I love the little video at the beginning. That's
thanks.
That's
yeah,
real
man.
production right there.
I put a lot of time into that. Designed it myself. Feel pretty proud of it.
You said you've been doing this for like 4 years?
About 4 years now. I'm actually building a network. We've got 16 shows currently. I've got 2. I've got 3 admins that work underneath me, and we're just trying to keep growing. I just added a 4th and 5th show of my own. One has a co-host, the other one doesn't, and it's just, dude, it's so much fun. I love doing this.
Yeah, that's cool as hell, man.
Yeah, we're working on the next step is going to be getting a Roku streaming platform. And just having our own network, like just launched, not even on here, just as its own platform on Roku.
Wow, that's incredible. Those are some good goals.
Yes, it is. But I want to make a career out of it. There's not really any money coming in on it now, but I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy making clips and giving exposure to people like you. And it's just, dude, as soon as I hit record, man, I just have a good time.
Yeah, man. Well, it's like I host and produce 2 podcasts as well.
Yeah.
Not as good as this one, I'll say that. I do a wrestling podcast, and then me and Jenny, we do a comedy podcast as well, just to dip our toes into it. And it is hard just to actually talk and be entertaining for however long you do it for.
Yeah,
I definitely commend you for doing it as well as you do.
Well, thank you, man. If you need any help with that kind of stuff, I'm always happy to help. So
hey, you're gonna regret you said that.
Nah, it's all good, man. You ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. It says, I searched for my dog for 20 minutes. I don't know if you can see it.
I was like, what am I looking at?
There's a dog laying on the bed.
That's adorable.
That is funny. Have you do you have any pets?
No, not anymore. I haven't had any pets since I lived alone for a while, but I grew up with dogs. I've always loved dogs. Not a cat person. Okay. The roommate I lived with before I moved in with Jenny in Indiana had 2 cats, and it was pretty miserable. I guess I'm allergic to cats. Yeah. So like every morning I would wake up with like a pound of mucus in my face. So like that's my experience with cats, but I love dogs. Like I said, I've grown up with lots of dogs. It was we had a Doberman Pinscher for like 8 years. That was our best dog. So loyal, so smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We currently have 6 dogs.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, and 2 hedgehogs.
Oh, how do you keep it quiet there with 6 dogs?
Dude, that's why I do my show so early in the morning, man. Like everybody's still sleeping.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I got like this little corner nook in the basement with a green screen behind me. That's all I got, man.
Oh, look at that. Dude, I thought, well, that's so fucking funny. I thought that was an actual room with books. I was like, damn, this guy reads.
Shit. No, I just wanted that impression. That's all.
Yeah.
No, I switch the backgrounds up every now and then, man. But I love the green screen. I utilize this for my improv shows that we do, and it's so the dogs. I've got a Pyrenees Collie mix. We've got a German Shepherd, a Wiener dog, chocolate lab, and a Pomschi.
Damn, so you got a big mix of big and little dogs.
Yes. Yeah. And it's not my choice. It's my wife's.
Oh, sure. Do they all get along or?
Yeah, I mean, so the chocolate lab kind of, I don't know. I think he's too rowdy for the other ones, so they get all pissed off at him sometimes. But for the most part, they're fine. I mean, they don't like sit there and go at each other's necks or anything.
Me and Jenny were at an open mic last night, 2 nights ago, and there was a comic that went up on stage with a dog, and he was using because sometimes when you like howl, dogs will howl with you.
Mhm.
He was using his dog's howl as a punchline. Yeah, he would like tell a joke, and then in the microphone he'd go, "Ooh," and then the dog would, "Hur, hur, hur,"
So
it was
he
pretty awesome,
used
actually.
it.
Yeah, it was like a multimedia kind of stand-up act.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I think I would just have to get on stage and try it, but I don't know if I could do it, man.
Hey, if you ever come out to Texas, brother, I got a billion places to show you. There's comedy clubs everywhere,
Already?
open mics everywhere. There's tons of opportunity out here.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of connections. If I wanted to get into it, I've met so many people doing this that I'm like, and Sean's like, yeah, man, you're
I was just about to say, even the Underground Laugh Lounge, dude. That's a great fucking club. Great club. I've only had great sets at the Underground Laugh Lounge.
That's awesome.
The crowds that show up, I don't know what it is about that place. It's just people who come there to laugh,
Yeah. No, and I've only ever heard. And Sean, actually, speaking of my admins, he's now one of my admins on the network.
Oh, nice.
So it's nice, man. It's nice getting to network and build like that. And honestly, if I ever get the opportunity, I probably will. But I stay so busy, man. But with all these shows and then my day job,
Yeah, no shit. You got to take some time to smell the roses, brother.
I agree. I need to take some time off. All right, you ready for the next one?
Sure.
All right. It says, when you leave the store without buying anything, and it just says, act natural, you've done nothing wrong.
Just reminds me of what we lost with Walmart. You know what I mean?
Oh, what do you mean?
What, like the 24-hour Walmart?
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought you were referencing to. Yeah.
I would never really go into Walmart and not buy anything other than those late night trips to Wally World, when you just go in just for the fun of it with your friends and shit and just fuck around.
Yep.
That's gone. Kids are never going to be able to experience that again. Like
we were talking about that. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. We were like, hey, you know what? I miss not, being up at 2 a.m. and be like, let's go to Walmart.
Dude, that's right. I just seeing like the characters and smoking weed out in the parking lot.
Yes. Oh yeah. Dude, I used to smoke so much. I just where I'm at now, I don't, but just because of benefits and all that stuff, but I have no problem talking about it, man. I used to be 24/7. I was a restaurant manager for years. I could go to work just baked out of my mind and do the job just fine.
Yeah, that's when you become a professional at it. You know what I mean?
We used to do this. Okay. And I know I've said this once before, probably in one of my older episodes. We used to get really baked and we'd sit outside of like Taco Bell, like by the drive-thru, and we'd wait for like a big SUV or a van to pull up and order. And then when they would pull up to pay, we would cut in front of them and get their food.
How'd you do that with their?
We did it twice. Yeah, we would just like when they were pulling around to pay, you just kind of sneak in front of them.
Oh,
so they're paying for their food and you're getting their food.
That's a great scam. Holy shit, that's so funny. I've never thought about that.
We did it twice, and after the second time, it was kind of like we thought they were on to us, so we just didn't do it again.
It's like the opposite of paying the car behind you. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Taking the food in front of them.
Well, they're going to get their food anyways. So the only person they're taking the food from is the place.
Yeah, I was going to say that is kind of a victimless crime. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like,
right.
Yeah, the people behind you are going to be a little annoyed. Their timing is going to be fucked up, but they're still going to get their food. Taco Bell doesn't lose anything. That's awesome. I'm going to do that.
It worked. It worked. We did twice. So, what's the dumbest thing you've done, High?
What's that?
What's the dumbest thing that you've done, High?
Oh, yeah. When I was younger, me and my friends used to do this thing where it was like me and like 5 of my friends. We would just go. We always do this. Go around, walk around at night, like really late at night, 3 o'clock in the morning. Just walk the streets. And whenever cars would drive by, because it's like curfew and shit, we duck into a yard, and hide in the darkness, right? Well, one time we did that, and this guy came out of his house at 2 or 3 in the morning, and he was like, "You guys better get the fuck out of here, because I'm going to get my shotgun." You know what I mean? Because we were in his yard, we were by his car. So we all ran, and we were all mad. We were like, "Fuck that guy." So a couple of days later, I don't know, maybe a week later, kind of same thing. It was late at night. We were like, let's go vandalize this guy's fucking car. We were gonna put bologna on his car. Are you familiar with that prank?
Yes.
You put bologna on somebody's car and it peels the paint off.
Yes. Yep.
So we were like, let's go do that. So we grabbed some bologna. We were there. We put the bologna on his car, and it was almost like he was waiting for us because the light turned on. We all scattered. Some of us went across the street and just like laid down in this dark patch. He comes out with a gun and a dog. So he's walking up and down his sidewalk looking for people. And then, me and two of my friends were hiding across, just laying down in the grass across the street, just watching. Just like, we were so scared. We were like, fuck, if he finds us, he's going to kill us. A couple minutes go by, and a police car drives up, and police car goes up to him, and he goes, yeah, they're right across the street right there.
Oh, man. God damn it.
And he busted us. Police took us home, and we got a little slap on the wrist or whatever. But that was probably the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, at least the slap on the wrist is nice. So at least you're like, whatever,
Yeah, we were 14 or whatever, what are they going to do? Send us to fucking jail, Oh,
dude, well, I've been to jail like 5 times.
Oh, fuck.
And it's usually because I was just doing stupid shit when I was high, man. It's just
sure, yeah. Thankfully, we didn't end up doing too crazy stuff, but that was something stupid for sure.
Yeah, I hear you. Are you ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
When you wake up but want to lay down for one more minute. 802 1139.
This happens to me in my car a lot, actually, because on my lunch breaks I'll go and take a nap sometimes. If I'm really tired, because I get a 15-minute break and a 30-minute break. So I'm like, sometimes I'll go to my car and I'll just put a timer on 11 minutes or whatever, and I'll fall asleep. And this exact thing happened to me one time where it was like, it was like 11 o'clock. I went and took a nap, and they can't, someone was knocking on my car door at like 12:30, like an hour and a half past. They're like, what the fuck?
You're like, why did you let me sleep? You blame them. You're like, why'd you let me sleep this long?
Yeah, no shit. Why didn't you guys come look for me after 40 minutes? Like,
now I'm getting in double trouble. This is your fault. This ain't my fault.
Yeah, that's right. You guys should compensate me for the trouble here.
I've done it.
Yeah, that actually almost happened to me this morning. Funny enough.
Oh, for this show?
Yeah.
That's all good, man. I appreciate you coming on. And actually, so my thing is I'll leave an hour before I actually have to work. I drive about 35 minutes. And then what I'll do is I'll have that about 15, 20-minute window. So I'll set 3 alarms on my phone for 8, 9, 10 minutes. Yeah. And then I'll doze off. But there's been a few times where I'll wake up late, 20 or 30 minutes later than I'm supposed to. And I'm like, fuck. And then I'll get in there and either they don't notice or they're like, hey, don't do that again. So whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because I do the exact same thing where I have alarms set for I have 10 alarms set for 10-minute increments just because I'm so afraid of that happening to me.
Yeah. And it's so common. Even I got a day off. I'm like, okay, I'm going to set my alarm anyways. We'll go. I'm planning to get a couple things done in the morning. And I'll just be like, no, fuck it. I'm going to snooze. And then I'll sleep for another 2 hours.
Yeah, that's always the goal, right?
Right. And I also don't go to bed at a normal time. If I got to work at 6 or 7 in the morning, I still don't go to bed till 10 or 11. And no matter what, at the earliest, I can get to bed about 11, maybe 12.
I would say at your age, brother, you need to.
Yeah. Well, I got a very busy house, man.
Yeah, that's true. I could imagine doing 6 shows and 2 kids and a wife. Good God.
Yeah. That's why. So if you ever are watching my channel, this is either early morning or late nights. If it's my shows, it's because they're either people are laying down or still sleeping.
Right.
It's the best time to do it. Plus, I don't like going out to bars and clubs anymore. I've gotten older. I don't really care to do that. So this is me going out.
Yeah, unfortunately with comedy, it's you kind of live at bars. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So it's especially lately, I've been doing a lot of drinking.
Yeah, but you don't have kids or anything either. You don't.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and we like drinking. You know what I mean? It's
yes.
It's people are ashamed to enjoy drinking. It's it's fun. Especially me and Jenny, we have such a fucking fun time when we drink and have fun. I mean, that's the only time we do our podcast is when we're fucked up. So
yeah, dude, that's great. So are you guys very consistent? Are you guys consistent with your show or not really?
So I mean, literally, our podcast is called The 2 Drink Minimum, and we only do it when we're drunk.
It's great. So I'm guessing the
um,
conversations are just more off the wall.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's just kind of to be honest, some episodes are a little unbearable to listen to because we're so fucked up. But yeah, we try to keep it, professional as we can for being a little tipsy. But yeah, we really only do it after a couple drinks coming home after open mics or shows, just so we have something to talk about too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. That's good though. I mean, I if you enjoy doing it, then you just keep doing it, man.
That's what I'm saying. And we're not like irresponsible. We don't get like fucked up and drive. Like if we know that we're gonna like get really drunk, we'll get an Uber because we're 10 minutes away from every comedy club in Austin. So
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like we really are in a great spot to do what we're doing right now.
So while we're on the subject of being fucked up, I got this next one here. It says, I'm so high, I thought this was New York City.
Oh, what?
I
don't have my glasses on, so I was like, it is New York City, right?
Anybody that's just listening to this, it is a picture of a bunch of old heaters.
That's hilarious. I wonder why that picture exists. Why
did somebody take a picture of that? I'm sure somebody sold this picture for a ton of money.
Yeah, or maybe they're just trying to sell all. This is like an eBay ad. They're like, I have 500 heaters to sell
that don't work, parts only.
That don't, yeah, for parts, just for parts.
It does though, like it does look like New York City.
No, I was just about to say that's a great optical illusion because I was literally like, okay, it's a rusty city.
I remember, so I think one of the most ridiculous experiences that I've ever had, because I've never, you hear people say don't drive when you're high and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, but we were in Colorado Springs and I went to this dealer's house and he goes, you want to smoke? I'm like, sure, yeah. So he brings this bag with like 9 different jars full of weed in, and he's just like rolling blunt after blunt. And then we go into like he took this workbench in his garage and he built it in like this little room underneath with like these speakers and like neon lights and stuff. So like 5 of us crammed underneath this workbench for like 2 hours smoking blunts and like just nonstop for 2 hours. And I remember getting out of there and like not even like acknowledging where the fuck I was because I was so high and I'd never experienced that before.
Yeah, those are always super fun when you realize, oh, I'm too fucked up.
Right.
That happened to me when I was in high school. I got in trouble for smoking weed and I got put on probation, so I had to stop smoking weed for like 9 months or something like that. And then I was over Christmas break. I was at a party with some friends and they were not good friends. I'm not friends with any of those people now, but they all knew I was on probation and they're like, come on, Tyler, just hit this, smoke. Listen. Yeah. And they peer pressured me, but it was all my fault. I'm not blaming them, but yeah, it was, I did end up smoking. I ended up hitting this bong a couple times and I was the highest I've ever been still to this day and like uncomfortably high.
Yeah.
I can't move. I'm sweating profusely. My hands are like claws. You know what I mean? I can't move my hands. And you know what the cure was?
What?
Smoking more weed. That's right. Because they were like just because I hit a bowl a couple times and finally hitting some more weed, I was finally able to calm down. So that's my advice to all you people who are fucked up and
if
need
you're
to
too
calm
high,
down.
Get more fucked up.
Just get more fucked up. It'll loop around. You know what I mean?
There you go. That's funny, man. Did you end up dropping negative or positive?
Yeah, I got expelled. I got kicked out of high school. Yes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Because they hadn't dropped me the whole 9 months when I was up until that point, and the Monday right back from Christmas break. So
that's good.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's good, man. So what's coming up, man? What do you got going on in the near future? Any shows?
Well, I just got done doing a lot of stuff. Me and our schedule is kind of open now. Jenny has a show in San Antonio on Wednesday at LOL Comedy Club in San Antonio, Texas. That's kind of her next big thing. Like I said, I just got done with some shows. We did a show at the Blindside Lounge. That was our first show since we got here, like officially being booked.
Mhm.
We did Abe's Smoke Shop, which was fun doing a show at a smoke shop where people were smoking weed around you.
Yeah.
That was always fun. And then I'm actually doing more acting now.
Nice.
Yeah, since I got out here, there's a lot of acting opportunities. So I just did a commercial for a weed shop in San Antonio. That'll hopefully come out in like a month. I just did a background character for the TV show 1923.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with the show. It's on Amazon Prime. Harrison Ford.
I've scrolled over it. Like I know it because I have Prime. So I know.
Yeah, it's like a Yellowstone spinoff or whatever. But they were looking for background characters, so I got to get hair, wardrobe, and stuff like that, and it was fucking awesome. I was sitting on like a train that they created, like on a set, and I was my role was just to eat this piece of cake.
Hell yeah, man!
It was really cool, dude, just to see the whole production and this huge studio and what all goes into it. It was kind of the same thing that we were talking about earlier. It's like now I see stuff differently. It's like seeing any TV show or movie. I'm like, God, what did it take to make this set? How many people did it take to create this magic? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then what else am I doing? This Sunday, I'm doing a short film. This guy's making a music video, and I get to play. They're basically doing like a Rocky montage.
Okay.
I get to be the coach. Like I get to be the guy. Come on, Rock. You know what I mean? I get to like beat this dude up and put him through the ringer and stuff like that. So I'm doing exciting. That this Sunday. So lots of fun stuff, a lot of projects, and me and Jenny, we're still doing open mics every night. We're just trying to get our names out there, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I'd love to have her on sometime or both of you together. I don't care, man.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, she wasn't available this morning, but she's definitely interested. So we'll definitely get her on sometime, and we'll watch your views skyrocket when she gets on.
Well, we'll see, man. I don't know. I hope. That's always nice. But dude, really, it's just a clips. I like whenever I do these shows, I think about how many clips I can make out of these shows to help give you guys exposure. So that's what I do, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. You're doing a good service to us losers out there.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, though. All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you being on the show, and we'll be in touch. And again, if you ever need help with any of your stuff, I'm happy to help.
Jukebox Ginger, you're the man. I appreciate you. This is a great fucking podcast, and thank you so much for having me, brother. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, of course. And until next time, everybody, we'll see you around.